Up until now, it's been kind of difficult to put out a podcast. Well, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me tell you why. First of all, it's free. Second of all, they have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. No joke, it's that easy. Third, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many, many more. And get this, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. You're listening to the Daily Business Podcast with your business coach, Mitch Alverson. This is the place for daily coaching because when you have a coach, you get better results.
Hey guys, good morning. It's Mitch. We are in the book Business Made Simple by Donald Miller, and we're in the chapter on negotiation. And so today, if you have the book, I'm going to be kind of commentating from page 159 and 160. If you don't have the book, jump over to Amazon like now, unless you're driving, right? Go over to Amazon, get the book. That way you can follow through with these episodes. You could go back and start, episode 1 or 2 and listen every day and go through the book. That's a great idea. So yesterday we talked about kind of an intro to this chapter on negotiation. And knowing that we're always in negotiations, it's important to know, first of all, what kind of negotiator you are and what the person that you're negotiating with, what kind of negotiator they are. And there's two types. There's competitive and there's collaborative. And if you're a collaborative person, that's kind of my default, is, I want a win-win situation whenever I can get it. I want a good deal, but I also want that person who either owns something or earned something or made something to be compensated for what they, are doing, right? So I'm always looking for a win-win. But there's a lot of folks out there who are negotiators who are pretty much looking for a win. They don't really care about you or whether or not you get a good deal. They want to win. And so the trick is to figure out which kind of negotiation you're in. If you're in a collaborative negotiation, then that's just going to go out with a win-win. You're going to work and together with another collaborative person to get the best deal for both parties. However, you should know very quickly if you're in a competitive negotiation where they don't really care about what it is that you want. And if that happens to you, you have to switch. And I know this is tough for some of us. I'm an Enneagram 9, and a lot of times that's hard for me to switch into this competitive mode. But if you don't, you're going to lose. You're not going to get a good deal. The other person is going to make sure that you lose. So what you have to do is kind of play some, just some psychology, switch your negotiating mode to competitive, and, then go at it that way. But you definitely will know your bottom and your number, and that's where you're going to work from. So the trick is just knowing, whether or not you're in a competitive or collaborative negotiation, and then negotiate accordingly. There you go, guys. Go out and figure out what kind of negotiation you're in. And if you're interested in a very much more in-depth course on negotiation, you should check out Business Made Simple. In the show notes, there's a link to Business Made Simple where there's a beautifully filmed course on negotiation with John Lowry, professor at Pepperdine Law. So go check that out. It's really good. It's worth the price just for that course alone. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon. Here's a sales answer from the Little Red Book of Sales Answers by Jeffrey Gitomer. What is the difference between a stall and an objection? 2 answers. A stall is, I want to think about it, or I have to meet with other people. An objection is, your price is too high, or we have a satisfactory supply. Both are put-offs, which basically say, you haven't sold me. Maybe they perceive too high a risk. Maybe they think they can get it someplace cheaper. Maybe they don't have enough confidence in you to go forward. Maybe they are not the decision maker. You haven't proven enough value. You haven't shown enough difference between you and your competition. And you certainly have not gained the trust of the buyer to invest his money in your product or your service. Most salespeople are foolish enough to take a stall or an objection as the real reason for a sale not moving forward. Objections or barriers of any kind are an indication from the customer that they want to buy. They just may not want to buy from you. Even if a customer says, I'm not interested, probably the most classic turn-off objection other than slamming the phone down or throwing you out, it's an indication that you have not engaged them. The bottom line is conversion. You have to convert their lack of confidence, their lack of trust, and their lack of perceived value into a sale. Final answer. A stall is easier to convert. An objection may take a bit of work, but both must be qualified as the real reason for not purchasing now. Most are false reasons. The master salesperson must ask why these are occurring to get the real sales block.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Daily Business Podcast with Mitch Alverson. If you got time, please subscribe to the podcast and consider rating and reviewing the show. That way, other people will find us. By the way, I really love to hear from you guys, so please email me at mitch@3advisors.org with your feedback or questions. Thanks again, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Daily Business Podcast with Mitch Alverson.